Hey YouTubers, since my workbench is complete for all intents and purposes, and I still got some work to do on the shed itself, but I figured I'd give this a shot and start on a project at least. At least this is fun, not like organizing the shop. So I'm going to try and do a little bit of refreshing and refurbishing cosmetically, aesthetically for the Lawnboy 10520. And as you can see, somebody has knocked a good bit of the OEM paint off of the front through normal use and wear, but they've also done a little customization, shall we say, to the bolt holding the stud and the bolt holding the cover on here. So, like I said, everything's in pretty good shape. Wheels are loose, but the final drive and the rear and everything is nice and tight. Looks like it's been pretty well taken care of, with the exception of the bail. Bought a new one, put it on, went to fire it up, and because of the bad cable, it also bent. Weak point on these machines, on a lot of the 105 series. As soon as the cable gets, the cable will move free when you pull on it, but as soon as you try and pull it with the bail, I've been told that it will actually bend the bail or the framework also. So a little bit of cleanup, tighten up the pull cord, and we'll see what we got going on in here. Hopefully it'll be pretty much like a new mower by the time I get it done. I already know that it runs well. Everything's tuned and everything. I did manage to kind of bypass a few things and get it pulled and running, and even cut with it a little bit. But oh, and a new gas cap, of course. Don't know what the heck happened there, but don't like water in the fuel, not at all. So I'm not gonna hold the camera and do this, but I'll kind of do it in stages, step by step, so give you a chance, see what's going on. Alrighty, thank you much. See you in a little. Well, I've got the tank and the carb off, and the shroud. Of course, tank and shroud are all in one. Still got to get the belt off, but that's the least of my worries right now. Belt off for the drive. Right now I'm concentrating on taking the engine off in general, which I'm taking the blade off, which looks to be the original blade, and that's been on here for years. Small problem with the lift assist blade, if that's what you call it. It's got a split in it here. I don't think it's going to be that much, but while I got it off, I may clean it up and take it and bend it back and tack weld it. Just kind of bring it back to where it's supposed to be. Actually, strike that, because evidently that is where it's supposed to be. I'll just clean it up and paint it. But definitely getting a new blade. Looks alright, but new blade cuts better. Well, I literally had to break out the big guns. Break out the old Kawasaki electric. In order to get the motor off. 2 bolts came out fine. The other one was all but rusted in there. Don't know why. It didn't want to move, but just didn't want to move, so I had to take and get the big gun out in order to get the 3rd bolt out. One step closer, and we'll see from there. Well, there's going to be a little bit of instant gratification. I've done a little bit more scraping, a little bit of sanding, and a lot of lamenting on not buying some paint remover. But oh well. This is just for aesthetics and to keep it going and looking good for a little bit longer until I can get my other projects out of the way. So, like I said, there's a little bit of pitting as far as the aluminum. You know, still needs a little bit of scraping and sanding done and everything, but that's okay. This will protect the underside a little more from abrasion, and at least it'll get some color on it. It'll be a solid coat. Alright, tubers, back in a little bit. Well, it's better than what it was. Like I said, instant gratification. I guess you just can't beat a coat of paint in order to give you a feeling of accomplishment. Still some dents from stuff being thrown underneath, and a couple places that I missed as far as scraping, but like I said, that's alright. It's just to protect it while I use it. It's going to be a worker, not a trailer queen. And once again, nothing like a good old scuff and squirt on a piece of machinery to brighten it up and make you feel better. Nothing in the world. I just hope it flashes at the correct time and temp and retains that nice shiny new look. And I said, not perfect, but not a trailer queen. Going to be a everyday worker. At least it has some paint on it. Alrighty. And here's my video of the decarbonizing process of the Lawnboy muffler. We'll see how it goes. I've had it on here maybe about 2 minutes. Evidently it's got a good buildup of oil and carbon on the inside as well as the outside, otherwise it wouldn't be smoking as well as what it is. I guess they say about 10 minutes. I don't know if this will take longer or shorter, or I know it has to be done with care with the aluminum mufflers, but fortunately this one's steel. Give you a heads up on the smell. It kind of smells like a cross between two-cycle oil and burning automotive belt. Going to hit it with some high heat black after I take and bang the carbon off and wire brush it. I'm going to turn this off for a couple minutes, save the battery, and keep you all from getting bored. I just did the flip side. Turned it over. Evidently that seemed to be, shall we say, more volatile than the other. Just testing the heat on the lens, didn't want it to melt the camera. I guess it's because of all the oil and carbon that's setting down in the bottom of that muffler. Nice little burn off there for a second. Can't imagine anything getting much hotter than the exhaust of a small engine, but guess all it takes is a couple degrees here and there. You can see it starting to flake. Right at the edge, right here. All that carbon coming off. Well, I've bored you enough. I'll put this one in a little bit, and take this off in a little bit and wire brush it and hit it with paint. Well, dear folks in YouTube land, a little more that I've got done since yesterday after trying to mow the lawn and doing all sorts of honeydew things around the house. I painted the blade assist, the lift assist for the Lawnboy 10520. Managed to do the gear covers for the rear wheel drive, for the rear wheel self-propel. Got them touched up, wiped down, a little coat of paint on them, the adjusters, and the keepers for the adjuster levers, and that's pretty much about it. Other than hanging the deck up, just to keep it out of the way, keep any other paint or anything from getting on it. I did tape off the Lawnboy insignia on it, and of course painted around that. Didn't want to get that. That looked rather nice. Didn't want to get anything on that. And other than that, and going over the wheels, which I'll have to get some brass bushings or something and put in the front wheels because they're rather worn and loose. That's about all that I've got done. On to more things. Gonna go over the hardware and everything, and then I'll start working on the handles. Well, I got it back to a rolling chassis. Needs a little bit more cleaning up, touching it with my greasy fingers and everything. And of course, engine needs to be power washed, but I figure I'd do that when I get the carb back on and do the whole 9 yards. Everything's nice and tight, and hopefully I'll get it running tomorrow. Well, there it is. Almost finished. Have to put a new blade on it, which is coming in the mail within the next day or two. And then I'll give it a test shot and see if I need to adjust the carburetor or readjust the carburetor. Looks pretty good. A little touch up on the black paint and a couple little places on the black paint on the handlebars, or a push bar, whatever you want to call it. Put a new pull rope on it. Needs a little bit of a wash. It got some overspray. from me doing my mother's mower. I had to repair that so my brother can come pick it up and play with it. But as far as the customization, I figure what the heck. I'll leave the skull on there. Give it a little bit of something to talk about. Alrighty, everybody. I'll get everything going and put the blade on it in a couple days and hear it run for the first time since it's been painted. And actually for the first time in a good while, period. Hey YouTubers, just figured I'd give you a last shot at the 10520. Got the blade installed, got everything adjusted the way it's supposed to be, and got a cold start. So here we go. There you have it. Success. On to the next one.